All right, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to our Deputy President, Mr. Tamil Selvam, Ms. Nirmala M. Subramaniam, from the Head of Financial Education Department of AKPK, KLSICCI Executive Committee, and Management Council members, and dear participants. A very good afternoon to all of you. Today, our topic will be post-COVID moratorium guide for SMEs through AKPK. And our speaker for today is Ms. Nirmala, and she will be letting us know a few things about how we're going to manage, cope during this pandemic. And also, she's going to let us know how do we even prepare ourselves for the future, because it is always, better to prepare the umbrella before it rains or shines. So with that, and of course, a little bit about KLSICCI, I will be asking Mr. T. Selvam to do the introduction of KLSICCI. Let's welcome Mr. Selvam to give his opening and welcoming speech. Mr. Selvam?
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Zoom town hall section on post-COVID moratorium guide for SMEs via AKPK. And I will welcome Ms. Nirmala Subramaniam from AKPK, Head of Financial Education Department. Thank you very much, Nirmala, being invited as a speaker.
You can on your video, Mr. Selvam.
Yeah, and
your video is not on. Yes.
Okay, now it's on?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for everybody, ladies and gentlemen, to participate in today's session. I hope everybody will benefit from today's town hall section. And a little bit about Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce. We are a 93 years old organization and having our office right at the heart of Jalan Tuku Abdul Rahman, Kuala Lumpur, with a 15 million 5-story building. And we are very established, and we have a very established secretariat, and we are one of the, can say, very organized and established Indian Chamber of Commerce in this country. And also, we were elected, just to a little bit information, we were elected last year, and our current president is Dr. Ramanathan. He is a president, and myself as a deputy president, and also our Vice President, Dr. Navamani, and our Honorary Secretary is Nivas Raghavan, and our Treasurer is Kumaraguru. And I also want to welcome our council members in this group who have joined here to also have some info insight about AKPK and what are their services. And Chamber, Kuala Lumpur Selangor, we are doing this, during this MCO, we are doing many Zoom programs. And this is, I think, the 6th or 7th program we are continuously having for the benefit of members and also non-members. And it's not only for Kuala Lumpur Selangor, this is throughout the whole country. Anybody can participate in our programs. And I'm inviting all these members to continuously join our program and benefit out of it. Without further delay, I pass this back to our host here, Dr. Nawa. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Selvam. Without further ado, let's get started with our speaker for the day, Ms. Nirmala. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Selvan. Thank you, Dr. Nawa. Thank you all for having us here. And thank you to all the viewers, listeners. Thank you for being here. I'm not alone today from AKPK. I have a team with me too here today to assist. I have the head of SME education, actually. I'm from the financial on household. Then I have the SME for financial education, Puan Nur Akma here, and her team here actually today with us too. So we are all ready here to answer all your queries. So keep asking asking us, have your questions ready and things. Yeah. So just to get a brief of what we have today and what we are going to talk about, actually it's more towards, as what was mentioned, yeah, it's more towards the moratorium on business SME loans. Yeah. Okay. So maju SME, kukuh ekonomi. Yeah. Kita jaga SME. So that's where AKPK is now today. So just a brief about AKPK for those who are new. I'm sure I think everybody knows about AKPK. Yeah, but just a bit of brief. We are an agency under Bank Negara, established in 2006. Our three main services, basically on financial advisory. Okay, here is where we provide advisory on money and credit management. So for those who have financial problems, financial issues, yeah, so they could actually come to AKPK and we would look into their finances and see how we can assist them by actually negotiating with the financer to get a restructured repayment plan, which is affordable by the borrower and acceptable by the financer. So we try to find a win-win situation here. And we have been doing for individuals ever since 2006, yeah. And we have 11 branches with 15 counseling officers around Malaysia. So what we have new now is actually our micro help desk, which we have been tasked by Bank Negara effective September 2020 to look into the small debt resolution scheme. So we are looking into micro enterprise. So we have financial advisory for micro enterprise as well, effective November 2020 last year, and also in our debt management program where we have expanded, yeah, to help SMEs as well. So how we work on is, I'll go into that in detail, but just to look at the fact that for individuals and for SMEs, so now we are looking at it in total, and in our financial education as well, our services on financial education as well, where we have been promoting on good financial management with various life stages, like we have tertiary, entering workforce, starting raising family, retirement. So this is where we provide prevention. So this is our prevention part. The other two is our solution, and this is our prevention part. But just to add on, our financial advisory now, it's not only for those who have financial problems. Yeah, sometimes for those who think that, at times they have too much, so they do not know what to do. Yeah, so you can actually also seek for financial advisory here. Yeah, so on financial education as well, we have also started on SME education. So looking more towards how do we assist startups, what are the things that you really need to look at, yeah, and how do you actually grow your business. Yeah, so this is our main services. And just a brief of understanding SMEs in Malaysia. 98.5% of business establishment in Malaysia as SMEs and cut across all sizes and sectors. And we have been told that 89% are services related, yeah, with 5.3 on manufacturing, 4.3% construction, 1.1 agriculture. So this is how it's cut across, yeah. And when we look at the issues, yeah, the reason why I'm here is also basically of this, yeah, because we are looking at the issues and the challenges that's being faced. I guess what is happening now is totally very new, although I think we have learned to evolve. Yeah, I've seen many have changed their business model, going into more of digital based, people who have not even done a video of themselves are all doing videos of themselves now, promoting items, promoting things. So things have to change, right? So hence why these are the challenges that we saw. And this was a survey done by Bank Negara in 2018, actually, where they wanted to see what is the rejection rate of financial institutions for key segments. Yeah. So, and overall mainly was in the manufacturing industry. So hence why Bank Negara is doing this actually to see how they can assist more and help them sustain, yes, help them sustain more towards the financing issues then. And mainly now what we see is definitely cash flow problems. Yeah, main issues faced now is a lot on cash flow because of high costs of doing business, late payment by clients. Yeah, And of course, now the current situation is at certain businesses are totally down. Yeah, especially when you look at tourism and thing, you have to really change. So we see a lot of issues in terms of them negotiating with the financial institution, moving towards uh, even ICT, literacy, digitalization, all this needs money also, you know, for them to embark and to grow further. And with currently you are not having good sales and things like that. So it makes it even harder, right? And financial institutions requirement, yeah, the complicated, tedious processes, I'm sure all of y'all agree, including documentation, paperwork requirements, yeah. So all this, we saw that it has been an issue, yeah. And that's where we aspire from AKPK, yeah, where we want to provide SMEs for financial resilience, yeah. So in a sense, in their whole ecosystem. So that's where we really want to come in, fill up the blind spot, yeah, in providing our financial advisory services. So seek help early, plan your loan repayment before moratorium period ends. So don't wait. We've been telling this for a long period. Don't wait, even if it's your own personal issues, your business issues, don't wait. Yeah, don't wait for a solution to come to you. You have to seek for the solution. Yeah, so please, as we heard the announcement yesterday, you have to seek the ban for moratorium now. It's it's not automatic. Yeah, it's not automatic. So you have to seek, you have to apply, and you can also, it was also announced, you can actually contact AKPK, yeah, for further advice on this moratorium. Yeah, so we want to provide financial education on responsible use on money and credit management, counseling and financial management. Same with that management program to assist consumers in financial control. So coming into micro enterprise, yeah, so how do we really help you here? Is we have, for those businesses who are facing problem, yeah, who are having loan repayment issues, yeah, what we need you to do is actually go to our website and go towards our micro help desk. Yeah, you can, the link is here. You can click on this link, click in there, and then there will be a survey form, and you have to click, type in your details, because as of now, all our offices are closed. In the MCO states, the CMCO states we are open, but all the MCO states we are closed. So we are looking more towards assisting you via online basis. Yeah, you can call us, but try to go online. It will be easier. Yeah. So once you have keyed in your details, our officers will look into it and give you a call and discuss with you, see whether you're eligible or not for this assistance. They're just basic, very basic criteria. They want to know you are Malaysian-owned companies, at least 51% in all economic sectors you are. You meet the SME, this is on SME, yeah? So you meet the SME definition criteria. We do help for micro enterprise, sole proprietor and all that as well, yeah. But nothing more than this level. So full-time employees not exceeding 200 and annual sales turnover not more than 50 million, yeah. So once you have applied there, our advisor would actually call you, and then they will look through, they will ask you your details and everything, and they will let you know on the spot whether you are eligible or not for the for us to assist you further. Okay, this is just the first level. So we're just going to call you and see, and then they'll have their interview, they'll have their checklist, just to see if your case is something that we can help you further with. Yeah, so that's how the micro help desk works. Yeah, so once they have seen, okay, now we can assist you, so then they will further ask you for all your documentations, and then we will look into it, assess and nego with you as well to see what is your real affordability now. Are you looking for moratorium, or are you looking for just a reduction? So we will advise you. So we can also look at moratorium based on your situation to see whether we can go for a moratorium. We can go even for half installments, maybe half interest. So we see how. It's hard to say upfront that all of y'all will be getting this, all of y'all will be getting that, but it's case-to-case basis, because one of the key factors they'll be looking at is your cash flow statements. Yeah, so they would have to assess, analyze, and see what is the best way for us to actually assist you. Yeah, so it's a very detailed advisory. So once we have discussed and you have also agreed to our proposal, then we will submit to the financial institution. We will negotiate as normal. We negotiate with them and see if what comes out of it. So normally this whole process would take at least about 28 days from the time you have submitted the complete documentation, because the documentation is important for us to actually carry on the negotiation with the financial institution. Yeah, so mainly our objective here is to restructure and reschedule your SMEs financing issues. Yeah, and how we basically is pure negotiation with the financial institution. So far, we have close to about 1,200 SMEs assisted, and with 83% of approval rate. That means most of the cases are successful when we negotiate with the bank. Yeah, and 54% of approved SMEs are able to revive their business. So we also track you after that. Yeah, we don't just help you restructure and then we let it go on its own. We also track, and we have found that 54% have actually successfully revived after that. Once we have managed to restructure here, you have to also put effort in reviving the business. Yeah, so it's just not on restructuring and then there's no effort here, then obviously it's not going to work. So it has to work together. Yeah, we also assist on our business. Of course, when you restructure, you still need some funds to move on, right? You probably need some funds to move on. So we will also provide advisory to see how you can obtain further financing. We can provide recommendation. Please hear this carefully. It's just recommendation. We've got no loans to give you. We've got no financing to give you. It's pure recommendation to the financial institutions that we can do. But approval and everything is totally subjected to them. Yeah, so hence we will try. So the advisory is just beyond restructuring. We do provide other kind of, like, how do you grow, how do you move on, I mean, what should you do, so things like that. Be honest with the advisor. We're not going to report you anywhere. So just be honest with your actual financial situation for them to assist you better. Yeah. So eligibility would be more on impact financings, SMEs facing difficulties with financing from multiple FIs, or even with you are running the business but no income. It's okay, as long you are in advanced litigation process. So not towards bankruptcy, we cannot assist you. If any one of the directors are also a bankrupt, we cannot assist. So it must be before that, something before that, that's what we can assist with. If it's in an advanced legal litigation process, we can't assist. Yeah, so but you can still come in. We try to give you advice and look at your situation, but we can't really negotiate with the financer. So that's one major key point you must take note. Yeah. Okay. And of course, this is basically on the restructuring, the main thing that we are looking at. So back to the process, let me just remind you, re-emphasize again on this. First, go into our website. Yeah, because it's very hard if you were to call me and say, Mala, I got this problem, how are you going to help me? I'm going to give you the same process, because they still have to assess your case in detail. We cannot upfront tell you, your one can do like this, like that, so we really have to assess your case. So very easy steps. Yeah, go into our micro help desk, put in your details. Yeah, our advisor would call you and they will advise you. First, they will have a checklist to see whether your case we can assist with. So we will see how. And then they'll tell you on the spot what we can do, yeah. And then if we can assist, we'll move on by getting in your documentations, and then we will start the negotiation process. So you have to help us also with all the proper documentations required. And once we assess, we still nego with you, and then we'll go back to the financial institutions to get a restructured repayment plan, which is affordable to you and also acceptable by them. Yeah, so that's just that simple it is. So it's for you now to take action, to look into your situation before you even think of like, okay, I want to look for more loans that will resolve my problem. We have seen many cases where they keep taking new loans to close up old loans, and it becomes a bigger hole. Every time they dig a new hole to close up the old one, it gets bigger and deeper, and it gets more harder to assist later. Yeah, so try to see if you're already having a very tight cash flow, very difficult situation, maybe come in just for advice first, yeah, to see how we can assist you better, rather than getting yourself into bigger troubles. Yeah. This works the same for your personal financial issues as well. Don't neglect that, because if you don't manage your personal finances well, your business also is very hard to sustain. It's very hard to sustain both. We have seen one of the main reasons that we saw many small businesses couldn't sustain because their own personal finances was not managed well. Yeah, so there was no synergy. So both has to be managed well. So if you come to us as in a sole proprietor, we will look at because when we look at your secrets, your Central Credit Reference Information System, the report, when we look into it, it will show all your loans. So we will advise you if you have to take in, do you want to look into your personal issues as well? Do you want to look into your personal loans, your personal credit issues as well to assist in this? Yeah, so that's how we look. We don't want to resolve one, and whereas the other one is the core reason why this is also not working. Yeah, so try to relook at it. At times like this, I think it's very important for us to gain knowledge, especially those who are thinking of starting a business, especially now. Times like this, a lot of them are thinking of second income, which I would agree is very important. Yeah, looking at alternative income, diversifying your income is something very, very important now. So go for knowledge. Yeah, we have this module online, Bijak Wang, Bijak Niaga. We started off in Malay. And it's more towards for those who want to start up, looking towards how do I start up, how do I move on, how do I start a small business. So this knowledge is that free, yeah, you can learn. And the best thing in business is always looking for a mentor, a good mentor. Yeah, and I think all of you here are successful business people would definitely agree with me. Having a good mentor is very important in this field. So look for a good mentor within here. I have seen many good ones who have provided advice and guidance, because I know like Dr. Nawa will refer cases to me. I'm so glad to assist if I can. Yeah, so they have good people here. So yeah, to the listeners, get in touch with them, yeah, if you are looking for a good mentor, because you need guidance. It's more of a hands-on kind of learning, you have to learn from the one. Don't just jump in with the new thing. I have personally seen some of my clients previously when I was doing counseling. A lot of them get into high debts because they're rolling their cash for business. My highest client had credit cards and personal loan debts up to 1.5 million ringgit, yeah, just because he was trying to roll on his business. So he was using his own capacity, his own loans, his own credit cards, personal loan, and it will come to a point where it's stuck because if the business is very simple, you need to wait, you need to get the payment in, right, to roll in. So when it's not coming in or it gets stuck, and then you're stuck here. Yeah, so that's where we want them to be. We want you all to be very careful with that part. Yeah, we have seen many cases, but as I mentioned, there are a lot of successful cases which we have helped. I was just talking to my colleague yesterday. He assisted one guy who was doing a DIY shop in Terengganu. he had a DIY shop, and of course competition grew over the months, yes, and couldn't sustain. He had a loan up to about 300,000 ringgit with the financial institution. He came over and we managed to restructure, and now he's paying half payment, which is comfortable for him. And we can nego on that part, like maybe first 2 years we go on a lower payment, and so just to have that cash flow stability now. And moving forward, we have a lot of plans to assist SMEs. We are coming out with more curricular modules. Yeah, we want to see how we can work together with KLSICCI also to move on with this. What are the relevant modules needed for business, yeah, people? Self-diagnosis toolkit, yeah, how can, because we understand that sometimes time is the issue, yeah. I want to come and see, I do not know, you know, I want to make an appointment or so tough, yeah. So maybe these tools might help you, and we'll be doing a lot of survey. We have a lot of research that we want to do as well, and we also have public programs in mind at our end. Okay. So that's all for now. This is our number 26167766. Our website, akpk.org.my, our learning portal where you can learn free courses at power.akpk.org.my. And we also have a lot of articles. I think do like our Facebook, our Twitter, Insta, whichever you are. Yeah, the young ones tell me that Facebook are for uncles and aunties, so they are all on Insta. So do like us, because we have a lot of articles and information coming out daily, so you can actually follow on that. Okay, so thank you for now.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nirmala. We haven't got any questions over here, but I have some questions for you when you were talking just now. The latest one, when you say you will help people to restructure, and at the same time, you also mentioned that AKPK is not going to give you a loan, but you're going to recommend, correct? Yeah. So how does this go about? When, example, you have someone who has spent on his or her business, and then they are like stuck there, and then you said you will help to restructure. Can you explain to everyone here, how does that work?
Okay, it totally depends on your cash flow, so Dr. Nawa, because we still have to have a stable cash flow there. But in this case, for example, I gave you the guy who had a shop, a DIY shop, and he had an owing about 300,000 with the bank. He had difficulties in making the full monthly installments, so he came over. So in order for him to pay, he said he can pay, but a minimal amount. So we negotiated on a half out of his normal installment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's paying that. So with that, he's also we have also negotiated with the bank for a little bit more loan, in order for him to expand, because there were some things that he needed to do to expand to ensure the business is coming in more. Yeah, so we look at that projection as well. So the advisory will look at the projection to ensure that there is potential business, that the cash flow is can be improved by doing this. Yeah, then we will go on. So it's not for all cases. The advisory, our advisors would look into it case to case, as I mentioned, but there is a possibility. Yeah, so it's they will nego, they will talk to you why they can do it and why they cannot do it.
Okay. So what you're saying is actually your recommendation towards any bank, and then from there he will restructure the loan. That's right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So another question here we have, how long it will take for AKPK to contact us after the application done?
As we understand, the whole process takes about 28 days from the time you have submitted the complete documentation.
Okay.
Once you have submitted the complete documentation, our negotiation with the financer is 14 days plus 14 days. So first 14 days we nego, we get an answer. If the answer is not favorable, we try to nego again. So we have another 14 days to go. So in total, it's about 28 days that we can resolve the issue.
Okay. All right. And there's another question. You mentioned about bijak wang, bijak niaga, where you can learn on your own. Can you explain a little bit more? Because we have a lot of startups coming in.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll do what? I'll run through the module as well online. Just give me a second. I can show the screen. Actually, is an online module where many could actually go learn online.
You haven't shared the screen. Yeah.
My screen?
Yeah,
Can you
now
see my screen? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is actually our portal for power.akpk.org, which you can actually go in and you register. It's just simple registration, no payment. Yeah.
Okay.
And what the course you can look for is this bijak wang, bijak niaga for business and micro. So what we will talk about is actually basically the topics that we cover is on where can you assess for financing, yeah. How do you process, how do you apply for it, and what is your responsibility once you've borrowed, and then if you're facing financial issues with your loans, yeah, so what can you do, yeah. And good tips, we share some tips on that, yeah. Then we have the other part where is I'm the boss, is you as an entrepreneur, yeah, and so your own personal financing.
Mhm.
What is your goals, how do you manage your own cash flow, your investments and things. So that's where for a startup or for a small for anybody, yeah, you always have to have the separation between business finances, I mean your management there, and your own financial management. Yeah, we focus a lot on the business and we let this down, and this can actually kill the other. You know, the way our lifestyle is can actually kill the way we're growing our business. So they have to have a very strong balance between both of this.
Okay.
This is our module, and just not this, we have a lot of other modules online, but we have things on, sorry, the UC will be not the same as a client would see, because I'm looking from the admin side. But like now during this crisis, we have this module called Brighter Days Ahead. So you know, how do we actually sail through the current situation? So as you go in, yeah, there'll be things that you can actually learn, and there's the activities and our budget calculators and all of that. So this is how our online portal looks like.
Excellent.
Yeah, also, yeah, sorry, doctor. As I mentioned, to enter into a website, just so let me show that as well, how to get assistance. Yeah. So once you are looking for our services, so when you type into akpk.org.my, yeah, so you can just click into here on the screen, you get this micro enterprise help desk. So you could go in here and yes, there will be this form for appointment. Yeah, so you can just type in your details there.
Okay, that's for clicking for appointment.
Yeah, clicking for appointment.
Okay, what about for the e-learning? You can just
for the e-learning, it's very simple. Let me just go back up. Okay, it's actually power.akpk.org.my. Yeah, so when you go to power.akpk.org.my, You'll come to this page, yeah, and then for first-time users, you would have to register.
Okay.
So to register is just simple process as an individual. Our organizations are more towards those who want to call us to do talks and sessions for your own organization. So we can also, if you have a company and you feel that you want to give them financial education, you can also get in touch with us and we will talk to them, yeah, on.
All right,
So that's
excellent.
how you register. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. You see, only when you tell us all these things we know. Otherwise, we just think that, oh, AKPK is for people who have got loan problems, full stop. You know, it's like a lot of times we people are ignorant about what is actually happening, what is given by the government. So only until or unless you ask, you will not get an answer. So it's actually very good. And another one which I would like you to highlight, you were saying that small debt resolution scheme, right? Can you explain a little further on that? The SDRS, the small debt resolution
Yeah.
scheme. Yeah.
Actually, Doctor, is the same as what I've explained. That the concept is the same. So how we assist SME is, or it's getting back. How do we actually assist SMEs with their loan?
Uh-huh.
So this is the same thing. It's just that like in financial education, then we have our debt management program for financial people with personal financial problems. So when we negotiate with the bank and then we put them into the program, we call it the debt management
SDRS.
program. Yeah, so that's the same. It's the same thing. It's for us to actually better assess so we can work out this debt rehabilitation solution for our FI, for our clients with the FI. So we do, this is where we actually are doing the negotiation.
Okay.
So the whole process is very simple. You come into a micro help desk, you put in your details, and then we take up your case, tell you whether you're eligible or not. Then the concept, the system, the whole process is called this.
Okay.
Resolution scheme.
And another thing, you were also mentioning once somebody becomes a bankrupt, so they cannot go and get help. You just get advice, right? So what will your advice, personal advice be, since you have done a lot of counseling before? You were saying that there are people who take new loans to pay up their old loans. And I've seen many like that. You know, they think that, oh, it will be over, and they can go on taking loans from here, there. And what more, when the banks don't give you loans anymore, you go to some loan sharks or some other financial, sometimes it's illegal institutions. You just want to solve these quick fix for these problems, right? So, and then you end up like you're so stuck. And some people, they cannot do anything. They either end up committing suicide, or they get into a mild stroke and then bigger stroke, or all kind of stress. So how would you advise people who are in such kind of situation, who has got big loans and now they want to take some loans to settle and then end up being a bankrupt? You get what I mean,
Very
right?
good point, Nawaz.
Yeah.
You brought.
Maybe you can stop sharing now. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped sharing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a very good point that you brought up on the loan sharks, actually. So that's something that we really want people to be very careful of, especially during times like this. We have seen so many cases, one after one. And the thing is, when as what I mentioned earlier, when you are having cash flow issues, before thinking of taking up another loan, financing issues, we always give importance of looking at your debt to income ratio. So you must know from your income, how many percentage is actually going for debt repayment. So when we look at your own personal finances, we always say don't take loans more than 40% of your income. So for example, if you have an income, whatever loans that you're repaying, you would divide it upon your monthly salary or monthly income and times 100. So then you would know what is the percentage income that's going for loan repayment. Yeah. So we always advise that make it below 40%. So you have 50% for your living expenses, 10% for savings, and 40% for loan repayment. That is a very comfortable ratio. Anything above 60%, it is a problem. That means it's a tight cash flow, because having 40%, 20% of balanced income to sustain life very tough. It's very tough. So that's how we see for personal. So in terms of business, or in terms of course it varies because it depends on the size of income you're gaining. But this is something that you have to view before I take up another loan. Can I really afford to pay that with the current? Because of course there's a lot of projection that you do. Yeah, so that projection is very important, because you're projecting to get this income, and so hence why you are investing now. You know, so it goes more of an investment, actually, I would say, the concept. So you're projecting, so you have to have a good analysis here, you know, good analysis here, and do discuss with people who can provide you the best advice here also on this part, rather than taking the quick wins, getting into the quick way of getting new loans to settle old loans. It's a quick way to get you in bigger problems, actually. Yeah. And more importantly, please make sure the loans you're taking from are from licensed financial institutions. I have to emphasize this, because the problem when you go to unlicensed, yes, it's fast to help you. They're fast there to help you. Everything is fast. But when there is problem, who is going to help you? We cannot help you when you have the problem then. Yeah, we cannot, because they are not regulated. They are not coming under anywhere. So what law do we use there? Yeah, and you took it up on your own risk. So please be very careful. Also, another very important factor that I want to mention here, because I personally saw these cases on Mule Account now. Yeah, please be very careful, because one of the way loan sharks are actually giving out loans now. Yeah, previously they used to take the ATM card and maintain the ATM card. Now they're giving a new way of they want this borrower to actually open an account, and they will use the account. So the account, savings account or current account, is open on this borrower's name. Yeah, but the one using the account is this loan shark or this loan provider. Okay. So it had one case. She was running a small business in Banting. She lost a job, so she started a small stall. As she started a small stall, you know, of course, cash is tough, right? It's tight at the beginning, so she needed a bit more. And friends introduced. She didn't even know that guy's name, yeah. And all he said, okay, I can loan you the money, but I just need this favor from you. You open this account for me. So she opened. He was using at one point of time. She actually went to the bank because he needed her to withdraw 50,000 ringgit. So withdraw that much of amount out. Yeah. So eventually, one day she went and checked on her account, and everything was freezed. All her accounts were freezed, because it was under police investigation now. That account was actually used for some other reasons, and you know, it's under investigation now. So this is where we call the Mule Account. So this is a new tactic they've been using. So we want everybody to be very careful with that concept. If you use your name to open an account, you will be in problem if there is an issue towards it, if they found out anything. Then for her now, she's stuck because her husband is bedridden. So the SOCSO funds are actually going into one of the accounts, and all the accounts are freezed now until further investigation. So this is something we've got to be very careful of also.
Yeah, good example that you shared, and we learn from other people's mistake. There's one more question over here, Nirmala. Can you help those SME who are having short of cash flow to purchase materials? What would you advise for those people?
Okay. Yeah, as I mentioned, we don't provide cash, so we don't provide financing of cash.
Yeah.
But in terms of advice, I would definitely say, I mean, this is where they go for loans, and this is why we look for quick cash and things like that. So obviously we need the material to move on, right, to continue our business. So again, we have to relook at our cash flow and our sustainability. But for this, you can come in for advisory, and they can probably help you look at your cash flow to see how, you know, what ways you can assist. And probably if your case is strong, maybe there could be some financings that could come in. Yeah, not from us, but from any other things that we can recommend of.
Okay. And just now you were mentioning, is that a Mule account? How do you spell it? M-U-L-E?
Yeah, correct. That's the Mule, M-U-L-E. You know the draft, the same Mule as well, same thing. They use it for the.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
can I
have
ask
my
a question? I wish to ask a question.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, Ms. Nirmala, thank you for all your sharing. A lot of very good experience you have shared. I hope all the members here will benefit. Yeah, I got a question. You were giving an example. There's a guy, 300,000 loan. He has to pay back. You all negotiated for 50% installment payment. That's very good. But how do you do it differently? Then the person who borrowed the money can go and talk to the bank and negotiate also. So what is the way differently you all do? Do you all physically follow the guy with the loan to go to the bank and sit down, have a meeting? How exactly it happens, you know, physically? Which, you know, long time account holder, example, they are taking a loan from that bank, and then their account holder long time, their relationship, how you all do it differently? Can you just practically how actually you do it? You know, can you share with us? Thank you.
Actually, we at first, if he can negotiate on his own. It's most welcome. Normally, they come to us when they fail that first part. You know, they have failed to negotiate on their own. So that's when they normally come to us. But we have a committee. We have meetings with the financial institution to come to a pre-agreed metrics. So we have a pre-agreed metrics actually. So if your case falls into here and here and here, yes, we can put in to say that, okay, we can restructure it this way. Yeah. So it's done within committee discussion. So if this case, even first time the bank rejects, we will take it up to the committee. So the committee now will bring the banks in, yeah, with our committee as well, and they'll sit and nego just on that case, okay, to see how can we go in and really help. So that's where when the advisor speaks to you, yeah, be honest, be truthful, so you know he can fight the case for you. So it's a face-to-face negotiation. They have a committee to discuss on it. So that's how we do it differently, because we go in as a group, right? So you're an individual, but banks are now actually being very understanding as well. So they are also looking into the current situation, like on the issue areas where are affected by flood, you know, they're already offering moratorium and all. So by all means, go and do your negotiation first. If it fails, then to come to us and we can assist. We are not saying that we are doing the same thing. It's just that we have a one step. We have this committee discussion with the bank. So that's how that's rate of almost 84%.
This another thing. Is there a guideline by Bank Negara or whatever regulation? You all have a guideline that you have a standard that you can negotiate with the bank, which we don't know.
We have as I said, we have a matrix that we have agreed to, but as I mentioned, it's a case-to-case basis. So it can't because there is certain checklist that we do, and same with the personal loans as well that we nego. We have a certain agreement on the matrix. Yeah. So if the guy falls under this category, so this is what we can offer him. Yeah, we have that guideline, but it is a range, so it's hard to say. Yeah, so it's solely, that's why we look into your case, we advise you, we want to see your commitment. Yeah, because it's also the conversation that the advisor has with you is very important. Yeah, so if you know the guideline, but we want to know your commitment, because we are going to speak on your behalf to the financial institution. Later, they're going to look at us, you know, so we want your commitment. So how the advisor speaks to you, he's actually, you know, gaining your commitments, you know, he wants your full pledge, he wants you to really be firm with it, you know, be very serious about it, you know, then we go. So we are also looking at how to assist you to rehabilitate overall. So we don't want you to come again and again into the same issue. So then it is a never ending issue. We want to assist you in a way that you rehabilitate overall, you move on better. So that's where we are monitoring you after that. So we have that 54 cases who have revived. We are more interested in that actually. But that's our true success. When we say, hey, look, you have really been successful, you're going on better. That's what we want actually. So hence why we monitor you also. So same with your personal financial management. We are very happy that our debt management program, those who actually came into our debt management program, we did a survey and they showed better savings. They started savings when before that they have not. So this is what we want. We want them to succeed further and not come back actually, and not keep coming back. We don't want a repeated issue on this. So that's how we are a bit different.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you very much.
All right. So Mr. Selvam's question is very well answered. Okay, as another question, but I think your colleague replied, but never mind. I'll just voice out here. Does AKPK deal with business owner owing to Lhdn?
No, at the moment, no. Even a lot of personal people have issues with Lhdn. Sorry, we are not. Maybe one day we will reach there, but as now not yet, right, Puan Akmal? Yeah, one day we will reach there. We are expanding.
Yeah. So you guys really work with financial institutions?
Yes, with the cone, yes. Yeah, we do work with the cone. So the loans, yes, we do nego with the cone. So this is also something new for us. So we are expanding lah. So maybe one day we will look into Lhdn when it comes.
Okay. All right. Is there any other questions from the floor? Anybody else? Yes, Fauzia has got a question. Good evening,
Hi, Fauzia.
Good evening, Dr. Nawa. Good evening, Mr. Tamil Selvan and Nirmala. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay. When a person, they come over to AKPK to seek for advice, there could be several areas that they're looking into. Example, if they need some assistance on the loan payment issue, what would be the documentation that they need to bring with them? That's one question. If they are business owner, business loan kind of issue that they are coming, what are the documentation? And if there are any other area, because I'm sure their documentation is where you as AKPK need as an evidence to give them the advices. So most of them may not know what exactly to bring over, and they have to keep on coming again and again. So it would be good if you could share, when we come this area, this documentation you have to bring. You know, that could shorten the entire situation. Thanks.
Thanks, Fauzia. Thank you for the question. Okay, for personal financial management, personal financial issues, you have to have your statements, your secrets report, and your pay slip. If you're not employed, at least if you're running a business, then we need your business account statements to know what's your income like, or a declaration from the Commissioner of Oath to say, if some people are freelancers, so they declare that, okay, this is my monthly income. So we need that kind of statement to say this is your income for the month. Yeah, and with that, and to see how much you actually owe the bank. So we will deal with the financial institution. On business is slightly different. First, you need to check on the eligibility, whether we can really assist you or not, before we even ask the documentation, because documentation for business is slightly a little bit more. Of course, your cash flow, your business statement, income statement is very important. That's very important. And your loan statements from the bank. So that's two things that's important. Yeah. So normally the business, the cash flow statement, the finance statement is where we always have problem with many of them not having proper ones. Yeah. So that's something that we always see an issue of. So that's the key thing. Yeah. So, but for micro and for SME, first thing, check your eligibility first, whether we can assist you or not. So do apply, and then we will check first. Our advisory will let you know on the spot. Yeah. Then they will let you know, okay, we want this document. So, but basically it's your business statements, yeah, your financial statements and loan statements. So this is the two important things. Of course, then they have all the other, your registration and all that. But this the two things you have to have always, especially your financial statements. That's something very, very important. Yeah. For those who are coming and personal issues, and how we see on your income is either you have, if you're doing business, so of course there's no salary slip. And so we are looking more on your current account statements also will do for us to assist.
For
Okay.
those credit card holders,
Uh-huh.
what would the document, apart from their credit card statements, do they have to give any other documentation?
Income document needed. So we need to know how much you are earning. So
That means their pay slip.
pay slip. If they don't have a pay slip, then they would go towards either if they're doing business, if they're doing business, they don't have a pay slip, then they need to provide us their business income statements to show that's their income, or even their current account statements to show that that is the income they are getting. Or if they don't have either, sometimes very small business holders, or maybe taxi drivers, Grab drivers, so they would need to do a commissioner of oath declaration to say that this is my income, rough income for a month. Yeah, so we come to us with the declaration from the commissioner of oath.
Thank you, Nirmala. That was very interesting and in-depth documentation, enlightenment. Honestly, not everyone know they have to keep on coming again and again. I'm sure you have experienced this.
Yeah, so that's why now our system is online. So once they apply that, they just have to submit their income. Actually, even their bank statements, we directly contact the bank and get the latest amount, because we want to see what the bank is saying, what is your latest amount. So we have the system will immediately prompt the banks to actually furnish us with the information. But what we need the client to do is fill up that form properly, the online, go into there, submit everything, and then thereafter it's a bit fast. Yeah. So the issues we get always is like, submitting their documentation update. That's where the delay takes place actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Good question, Fauzia, because a lot of people might have the same, questions inside them when they are not asking. Any other questions from the floor? Anybody else wants to know anything else? Yes.
Hi, Dr. Nawar.
Yes, Noshida. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for your event. I just logged inside. I just got recently because we have back-to-back online others issues also we have on your personnel. But I managed to go into your group and just only I saw so I think I'm lucky today.
Okay, shoot your question.
Okay, actually, I'm on the financial side as a financial consultant. So I'm actually talking on behalf of my whoever who come and seek my advice on financial side. So normally they ask their credit standing when they want to apply their loans. So what is the first thing they have to repair themselves so that they are qualified towards applying loans from this financial institution? On the advisory, this is what KLSICCI is providing us, right? So after looking, before they go into financial institution, get rejected. I mean, that's what I'm trying to understand. Before they go to the financial institution, get rejected, that means we can go to the first step to KLSICCI to get advisors. And then they will show us which is what we are supposed to do.
Yeah, for your business, yes. For your business, yes.
So I'm trying to understand, okay, because I'm going to get whoever orang awam di sana, orang luar. Okay, first of all, I cannot go into your in-depth, your problem. You should go to KLSICCI.